Episode 4, Whispers from the Cracked Mirror. Midnight mummers, hold your breath. Willow Creek's darkest nightmare is about to grab you by the throat. Picture this, a house that breathes, walls that whisper your name, and a mirror that shows you something you're not. Aryan's trapped in a living horror show, with his wife's soul dangling in the jaws of an ancient evil. If you think you've seen scary, you haven't seen anything yet. Ready to dive into the abyss? Let's go. Aryan stumbled back into the house, his body heavy, like it was carved from brittle glass ready to shatter. The dawn light crept through the grimy windows, weak and pale, doing nothing to warm the icy dread coiled in his chest. That giggle, the deep, guttural one from the garden, still echoed in his skull, not Maya's sweet laugh but something old, twisted, like a predator mocking its prey. It wasn't just in his head anymore, it felt like the house itself was laughing, the walls vibrating with a low, hungry hum. He clutched the locket in his fist, its metal hot against his cracked skin, but even that felt alive, pulsing with a rhythm that wasn't his own. Every step he took echoed too loud, like the house was amplifying his fear, daring him to keep going. He needed to ground himself, to feel human again, so he staggered to the bathroom, fumbling for the light switch. The bulb flickered, casting jittery shadows, and when he looked in the mirror, his stomach dropped. His reflection wasn't right. His skin looked too smooth in spots, like polished porcelain, and those cracks from the garden. They were creeping up his neck, faint lines like frozen lightning, glowing faintly under the light. He leaned closer, breath fogging the glass, and for a split second, his eyes weren't his, they glowed with that eerie, doll-like sheen, and his lips curled into a smile he didn't make. "No," he gasped, stumbling back so fast he tripped over the rug, crashing to the floor. The mirror seemed to laugh, a silent tremor rippling through the walls, and he swore he saw his reflection tilt its head, watching him fall. The house was toying with him now, a cat batting around a half-dead mouse. Every room felt wrong, like the layout had shifted when he wasn't looking. He crept to the living room, where he'd smashed the dolls before, but the cabinet was pristine again, glass doors shut tight. From inside came a faint scratching, tiny, insistent, like fingernails clawing wood. His heart thudded, urging him to run, but he couldn't, not with Maya's fate hanging in the balance. Instead, he headed to the study, where those old newspapers still littered the desk. Maybe there was a clue, something to stop this nightmare. His fingers, smudged with that weird, iridescent blood, left trails on the pages as he flipped through them. One article stopped him cold, a grainy photo from 1923, showing Eliza Hawthorne in the garden, surrounded by kids. The caption read, "Local orphans invited for playtime at Hawthorne Manor," but their faces, God, their faces, were too perfect, like dolls staring through the ink, their eyes hollow even in the faded print. Nausea hit him like a punch, and he slumped into the chair, head spinning. That's when the whispers started, not from the walls but from inside his head, slithering like worms. "We know you, Aryan, even if you've forgotten." What the hell? He shook his head, trying to clear it, but memories came unbidden, memories that weren't his. He saw himself as a kid, playing in a garden that looked like this one, laughing with children who had those same empty eyes. No way. He'd never been here before. Had he? Doubt wrapped around his thoughts, cold and slimy, making his skin crawl. Was the entity messing with his mind, planting fake memories to trap him? Time felt broken in this house, hours stretched into seconds, or maybe the other way around. He decided to try the ritual again, but inside, away from the garden's creepy roots. Bracing himself, he went back to the doll room, each step heavier than the last. The door creaked open, revealing a nightmare scene. The shattered dolls were whole again, sitting in a perfect circle like they were waiting for him. Tiny chairs were scattered, like a tea party gone wrong, and in the center was the Maya doll, its auburn hair spread out like spilled blood. Every doll's eyes followed him, not with mechanical trickery but with real, predatory hunger. A low hum vibrated through the floor, like the dolls were purring, ready to pounce. He dropped to his knees, tears stinging his eyes. "What do you want?" he choked out, voice raw from screaming into the void. Grief for Maya, terror of the unknown, and a gnawing guilt that he should have left this cursed place crashed over him like a wave. Reaching for the Maya doll, his hand shook, and as his fingers brushed it, a sharp pain shot through him. He yanked his hand back, staring in horror as the cracks on his skin widened, blood seeping out, not red, but that shimmering, mercury-like stuff. "This isn't real," he muttered, but the words felt hollow. The room answered with a surge of cold, his breath turning to fog that formed fleeting faces, kids, mouths stretched in silent screams. The dolls moved then, not jerky like puppets but smooth, like they were alive. Their heads turned in sync, painted lips parting to show tiny, needle-sharp teeth glinting in the dim light. One doll, dressed like a Victorian girl with perfect ringlets, crawled toward him on all fours, joints cracking like breaking bones. "We've been waiting," it hissed, its voice a mix of child, woman, and something guttural, like a beast wearing a kid's skin. Aryan scrambled back, hitting the wall, but it felt soft, warm, like it was breathing, tugging at his clothes as if it wanted to swallow him whole. The mystery of this place deepened, wrapping him in dread. These weren't just ghosts of kids, like Mr. Das thought. They were older, ancient maybe, predating the house itself. Visions hit him, sharp and uninvited. Eliza Hawthorne in the 1920s, gaunt and desperate, kneeling in this room before a makeshift altar. She chanted from the grimoire, voice shaking, not calling her daughter's spirit but summoning things, entities from some forgotten realm that fed on pain, trapping souls in dolls to keep themselves alive. The kids were bait, masks to lure in the grieving. Eliza realized her mistake too late, sealing them in the dolls but dooming herself to join them. Now they wanted Aryan, his despair a fresh meal. The visions grew worse. He saw Maya, not as his wife but as a fractured soul, scattered across the dolls like broken glass. In one flash, she wandered endless corridors inside a porcelain prison, screaming silently. In another, she laughed, eyes glowing, beckoning others to join. "Is that you?" he whispered, clutching his head as the cracks on his hand throbbed, like something inside was trying to break free. Was he losing himself, becoming part of their game? Suspense tightened like a noose as he forced himself to the hidden compartment in the doll room. The grimoire lay open, pages flipping on their own, showing sketches of humans turned into dolls, souls caged in ceramic shells, runes promising eternal life at the cost of sanity. He grabbed it, but the leather burned his hands, writhing like it was alive. Whispers became a roar, names of vanished servants from the newspapers mixing with cries of, "Help us, free us, or join us." A shadow moved, a boy, translucent, body twisted like a broken toy, pointing at him. "You're like her," it croaked. Eliza thought she could win, too. Horror spiked as the boy lunged, passing through Aryan like ice water, leaving a cold so deep it numbed his bones. For a moment, he felt another presence inside, poking at his fears, tasting them. Visions of Mr. Das flooded in, his body jerking in the garden, face cracking into a doll's mask. Aryan screamed, forcing the thing out, but it left him weak, his mirror reflection showing eyes that flickered with unnatural light. The dolls closed in, giggling, tiny hands grabbing his ankles, pulling him down. Desperate, he remembered the locket. Eliza's ghost had left it as a clue. He pulled it from his pocket, the photo inside glowing faintly, runes pulsing. There had to be a way to end this. The grimoire mentioned a reversal ritual, needing blood under the willow, but the locket was key. He stumbled out of the room, dolls chasing with clinking steps, their laughter a mad chorus. The hallway stretched, doors slamming open to show nightmares, rooms of mirrors reflecting him as a doll, eyes dead, another with walls of blinking eyes, watching him run. He made it to the foyer, heart pounding, and set up the ritual, candles in a circle, locket in the center, dagger ready. As he chanted, the air thickened, shadows stretching like claws. The flames flared, casting silhouettes of kids skipping rope, but the ropes were nooses, tightening. A woman appeared in the circle, dressed in 1920s clothes, pale as bone. Eliza. No, her eyes were black voids, sucking light. "You think you can banish us," she said, voice layered with echoes. We're the Eternal Playmates, fed by Eliza's grief, now yours. Maya's happy with us, in her new form. Join her, Aryan. He swung the dagger, but it passed through her, and she dissolved into smoke that choked him, wrapping his throat. Visions hit, Maya's soul screaming as the entity hollowed her out, turning her into porcelain. Gasping, he broke the circle, stumbling away. The smoke whispered, "We're already inside you. Look." Terrified, he ran upstairs. The bedroom door was open, pillows arranged like a body on the bed. He yanked the sheets back, nothing but a shadow lingered, burned into the mattress. A thump from the closet. Heart in his throat, he opened it. Maya sat there, rocking, knees up. "Aryan, help," she whimpered, voice too high, too wrong. He reached for her, hope and fear colliding, but her skin was cold, hard. Her face cracked, revealing porcelain beneath. "Play with me," she giggled, lunging with shard-like hands. He shoved her back, horror twisting his gut. It wasn't Maya, just a mimic, a paranormal trick. It crawled after him, body twisting, joints snapping. He fled down the hall, past doors opening to impossible rooms, one with endless mirrors, each showing a worse version of him, doll, corpse, screaming. Another with walls of eyes, blinking, tracking him. The mystery grew. What was this house? A gateway, a prison for wraiths collecting souls for centuries. Eliza didn't summon ghosts, she opened a door to monsters wearing children's faces. Barricading himself in the attic, he found Eliza's diary among dusty trunks. Pages crumbled, but one entry froze him. "They are legion, hungers from the void. They play, but it's a game of souls. I must seal them, but the cost," it ended in a blood stain. Scratching at the door, "Aryan, hide and seek," the mimic Maya called, voice multiplied. He found an iron cross, its touch burning the air, stopping the scratches. But hands pushed up through the floorboards, grabbing his legs. He smashed a window, climbing onto the roof. The sky was wrong, starless, clouds swirling like a vortex. Below, ghostly kids circled the willow, chanting in a tongue that hurt his brain. Mr. Doss's puppet body led them, grinning. Aryan slipped, catching himself, but the entity inside stirred, making his limbs heavy. "Give in," it whispered. "Fun forever." On the roof, mimic Maya climbed out, cracked face grinning. "Catch me," she taunted, leaping. The tiles broke, and they fell into the garden, but it was quicksand, pulling them down. Aryan fought, Maya's real voice faint. "Destroy the locket, it's their anchor." He tried, but the mimic grabbed him, her touch like fire. The ground swallowed them, darkness closing in. Would he break free, or become another porcelain prisoner? To be continued.